Whittier was so quiet, like the end of the earth. You had to ride a train to get there. You had to go through 2 tunnels. It's like going through the Wizard of Oz when it goes from black and white to colored. It was just beautiful, like you were in a different world.
For a lot of people, this trip to Alaska is a trip of a lifetime. And they've been getting hammered at these little tourist rip-off places.
Can I get the fish and chips, please?
Our focus from the beginning to the end was serving the best quality fish and chips in the state of Alaska, and I think we did that. My name is Margaret Farlamas, and my husband and I own the Swiftwater Seafood Cafe in Whittier, Alaska from 1997 to May of 2019.
We did our best to hand make everything that we offered. I think it made a big difference. After X amount of years being a sheet metal worker, I started getting a little wore out, and we talked about maybe trying something, and so we just kept our nose in the classified section, business opportunities, and a little seafood cafe in Whittier popped up.
I said, oh, Whittier, okay.
So we decided to go take a look at it.
It was quiet, it was slow, and it was pristine. We went down there, we looked at it, we interviewed every person that we could find in town and every business owner. What do you think? What's the opportunities and so forth? And we literally took out a sheet of yellow lined paper and wrote out a contractual agreement, gave the guy a check for $5,000 and bought it, got on the train and said, what in the heck did we just do? We're insane. But we were in at that point.
You know, Margaret had been a waitress for years on and off when she was young, going to school and stuff. My only experience in a kitchen-type atmosphere was in military academy. I was a head waiter for 1 year. Other than that, we didn't know much. The original owner was a little tiny Japanese lady, and she went down there with us and showed us all of the recipes, how to do everything. She would slap my hands while I'm back there breading fish and shrimp and stuff if I wasn't doing it right or going fast enough for her. She pretty much led us by the hand.
We bought it in May of '97, and we did not open until almost July 8th or something of that nature because we were very particular about how it looked.
Outfitted it, decorated it with all kind of maritime things that we could find. People brought us coral and Japanese floats and all kinds of cool stuff.
My husband is the super decorator, so we tried to make it that you were in a miniature museum while you were waiting for your food and enjoying your time.
How did you find out about Swiftwater?
We live on our boats
Okay.
pretty well the full time, so we don't really get very much good food. So then when you come into town, you always try to take advantage of it.
And what happened was the locals came to love us, and so when the road opened and everybody who was coming in was saying, where should we eat? What should we do? We had the locals saying, you should go to the Swiftwater and try it.
Can I get a half and half?
Yes, sir.
Anything to drink today? You're probably both working, so no beer, please.
You know, I never imagined myself, it never occurred to me that I could be a mayor in a small town. You know, there aren't very many secrets here. Mind your P's and Q's, right?
I have to be on my best behavior, which isn't always easy. Just kidding. So you can get to Whittier a couple ways. One, by ferry or cruise ship or boat, and then by vehicle through the tunnel. In the summertime, it opens it into Whittier at 6. The last tunnel out is 11 o'clock. So if you miss the tunnel, you're stuck here for the night.
Yeah.
We live on tunnel time, is what we call it.
The tunnel opened to vehicle traffic back in 2000, so it's only been open to vehicle traffic for about 22 years. And there's still people here that are angry that happened. They want to be off the beaten path. The tunnel definitely creates some challenges. fact that the railroad owns, as you can hear the train in the background, the railroad owns almost all the property, which is why everyone lives in the 2 housing units, mostly in Baggage Towers.
There's no town in the world that I'm aware of that 90% of the people live in one building. So, I mean, you know what everybody's having for dinner, you're walking down the hall. It's a 14-story building. It says it's 15 floors, but there's no 13th floor. So that's probably common in other parts of the world, but in Alaska, we don't have a lot of high rises, especially when you get outside of the Anchorage area. So it's very unique.
But those who actually venture through the tunnel will discover Swiftwater. There are people in Anchorage that I know that have been coming here for a long time. They'll just come down for dinner, and the reason is because of Swiftwater.
People called Whittier, when that road opened on June 8, 2000, the largest cul-de-sac in Alaska. People just drove down to drive through the tunnel and turn around in the Triangle, which is the section of town where our business was located. It was crazy insane. It was what we dreamed of, that we needed those customers, and they came, and the business just took off like hotcakes after that, and never slowed down.
Half a half basket for you. And halibut and fries for you. You're very welcome. You guys enjoy it. Thank you. So this is a fresh halibut that processed here in Prince William Sound from a local fisherman. So I do this daily as well in the morning for our fish and chips. We use halibut and cod. I came in here first as a customer, and I really like the place and environment, and people are really friendly. Then when my boss purchased it, I was the first one to offer to come here and manage this place. Normally in a busy day, we probably go through 30 pounds of cod and maybe 40 to 50 pounds of halibut. So daily we need to prepare at least 100 pounds of fish. It gets pretty busy. We normally open at 11 o'clock, and in a nice sunny busy day, the line will be out of the door already at 10:30. We got busy the whole day until 9 o'clock. When they come in here, they're like, we want to try the chowder, but also fish and chips. They end up getting both.
What do you think makes the fish and chips so much better than anywhere else? What's the secret?
That's why it's a secret, I can't tell you. I'm just gonna start with setting up my chowders. We make this every morning fresh. So to make the chowder, we dice some carrots, onions, and celery, and then we add a lot of spices. We also add some garlic and clam base. I kind of mix with my hands. And then we saute all that with a little bit of butter. And after we saute this for a little bit, we add some sea clams. And in the end, we just put some heavy cream with a little bit of water. We bring this to boil for about an hour. We add some potatoes, and we put the smoked salmon in the end. We got the smoked salmon from Prince William Sound. Adding smoked salmon to the chowder, it's not really typical. So when I tell the customers that it's a clam chowder with smoked salmon, they really like that because they never tried it before. I live in the tower. It's pretty interesting. I never lived in the condo before. I grew up living in the house, but I love the idea of having a post office on the bottom floor. There is a little grocery store. There is a gym. There is church in the basement. I wake up with amazing view, and I work in a place facing the harbor. Whittier is pretty unique itself. First time in Whittier?
Yes.
How do you like it so far? It's beautiful, yeah?
It's great.
That's what I think too.
That word of mouth thing is a huge, huge deal. Just people telling their friends and bringing their relatives that came up to visit Alaska. In fact, just this summer, we got introduced to a book with a fiction writer that used to write with Tom Clancy, and he mentions the Swiftwater in there. I couldn't believe it.
Happy birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you. You're very welcome. Well, here's for the ladies.
How did you hear about this place before?
I had coworkers who had been here. Thank you. It was fabulous. It was worth coming for. Absolutely worth coming for. It was delicious.
I never ever heard anybody say there was better fish and chips in Alaska than ours. And we were very prideful about that. That made me feel good every time I heard it, and also encouraged us to not change a thing and to continue to do it the same way every time. Even though it might cost a little bit more or take a little more time, it was worth it because the people truly had that experience. And to this day, I still hear it. Oh, you guys had the best fish and chips in Alaska.